Hello, everybody. Welcome into this live edition of the Black and Gold Hockey. Well, it's not really a podcast. We're just live on Black and Gold social medias, and we're also live on my personal YouTube channel. If you look up Sam Smith Bruins, you'll be able to find me on YouTube. A bombshell has just dropped, and I'm wondering what happened here. So, so we're gonna I got so much opinions on this. So for those who don't know, the Boston Bruins have traded Linus Ullmark to the Ottawa Senators. Now, we all knew that this was coming. We all knew that the Ullmark trade was coming soon. We didn't know what we were going to get. Here's what we got back in return. A 2024 first-round pick, which is fine. Mark Kostelic, who's a forward, and Jonas Korpisalo. Now, at 25% retained. I just don't really understand the Korpisalo part of the trade, right? Here's where I'm a little confused. I'm just going to screenshot this and put this in so you don't have to see the full tweet. It's the same thing. Okay. I don't know. I'm just wondering the how do I work? I'm wondering why Ullmark was traded for Korpisalo. The Bruins today signed Brandon Bussi to a contract. That was something that happened today. I just don't. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the thought process was here. Getting Korpisalo. You had Bussi, who I think is NHL ready. Thank goodness. Thank goodness it's 25%, because if I'm going to share my screen again, because I'll pull it up here on Puckpedia. I'll pull it up so you guys can see. If you go to Puckpedia real quick, I'll pull up his contract for you live. So, Jonas Korpisalo. Here we go. So, Jonas Korpisalo, a $4 million cap hit. That's not bad. 25%. So, we're only paying him $3 million. In 55 games played, he had a 890-ish save percentage, a 3.27 goals against average. Excuse me. It's year 2. Okay, so he has 4 years left at $3 million. Huh. So he has 4 years left of his contract at $3 million each, because, at least from the Bruins' sake, $1 million from Ottawa each year. He'll be a UFA after the 27-28 season. Okay, that's interesting, because I'm just confused on why they got a goalie back. I'm not saying it's a bad trade. Kostelic, I'm not familiar with Mark Kostelic. I'm not gonna lie to you. I know he's an NHLer, but I don't really know him too much. What? Mark? Oh, okay. I'll just pull him over here. Mark Kostelic. So last year in 63 games played for Ottawa, he had 5 goals for 10 points. He averaged 6.16 points a game, 63 penalty minutes. Okay. He has 1 more year left on his contract at 835. Okay. So he's going to be a fourth liner if he makes the NHL roster at all. That was it. Okay, so if he makes the roster at all, it's going to be an NHLer, which is completely fine. Sens retain money on Korpisalo's contract as well. I agree. Game 7 starting now. Yes, it is. Oilers-Panthers. Yeah, I'm looking at the chat right now. People are not happy about this trade. They felt they needed a veteran goaltender. Let me pull up. Well, let me see what some of you guys are saying in the chat here because we got a lot of comments, what you guys want. Let's see here. So somebody says, seems like a paltry return for the Bruins. Staios gets Oli and dumps Korpisalo's contract. Sweeney's okay. People are saying it's not a good trade. These two goalies were inseparable. Okay. A 1-year bridge, I would think. But he has 4 years left as out of contract, though. That's a problem. At 3, it is 25% retained, but so disappointed. Yeah, a lot of you got. This was not going to go over well with Bruins fans. I remember saying to a friend, I said that this trade was not going to go over well, and that's just the way of the road. I call it the way I see it. I'm a straight shooter. This was not going to go over well, regardless of what the return was. People were going to be upset. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Was the first round pick that got back their own 25th? Yes, it was the 25th overall pick. People were not going to be happy about this trade, regardless, one way or another. Korpisalo will get flipped for something else. That's a possibility. I wouldn't rule that out. I wonder if they got him as trade bait to get something else. But a 1-year bridge wouldn't surprise me either if they keep him for a year. So let me look through some of the chat. God forbid they're dependent on Bussy with no experience. That's fair, but I thought they were going to try to give him some NHL experience. You're exactly right. It would have taken a king's ransom for fans to think it was an okay deal. And there was no way anyone's giving that up, knowing Boston's position. Yeah, they were left with no choice. They were left with no choice in the sense that if you're the Bruins, you're in a situation where you have 2 elite goaltenders. They're both going to want a lot of money, and you can't afford to pay 2 goalies that money. That's my problem. You can't. He has 1 more year left in his contract. $5 million, right? $5 million left. Swayman's going to get his payday relatively soon. I'd imagine anywhere from $7 to $8.5 million. Where I'm thinking he'd land. The plan is for one of the young goaltenders to back up Bussy, but if they can't hack it, they now have a veteran insurance policy. They're not going to bury $3 million in the minors, though. That's my thing. Bussy would have to start in the AHL again. I would rather have Korpisalo win over Bussy as a backup, but I thought they were going to go with Bussy. Would have preferred a first and the Flyers. I've been a fan for a long time. The Senators were never giving up Giroux for Ullmark. Korpisalo comes in at 25% retained. Should the Bruins try to flip him? I would not be surprised. So it wouldn't surprise me if Korpisalo is just being brought in to bridge out the roster until they sign Swayman again, and then they trade Korpisalo. That wouldn't surprise me. Although that would make no sense because they don't really need to do that. But would a first and Branston have been released? I honestly thought they were going to get Chychrun. I honestly thought they were, but I guess I was wrong. Watch Ottawa sign Ullmark to a long-term deal now after they fleece Boston. Well, the thing is, they got him without an extension. But I assume there's an extension in the works. Korpisalo has a 10-team no-trade list. Well, Ullmark had a 15-team no-trade list. So the head scratcher for sure. So once again, if you're wondering, if you're just joining us here, hello everybody, welcome in. We are live on Black and Gold social media pages, or YouTube. We're live on Twitch. We're live on Facebook. We're live on X. We're live on my personal YouTube channel right now. If you haven't subscribed to that, make sure you please go do that. Just look up Sam Smith Bruins. My channel will pop up. Let's see. Korpisalo has no value. How are they going to get a center? It's crazy to think. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of confliction from the chat from what I'm reading right now. People are asking the Bruins to trade Korpisalo away for a center. It says, first, trade Korpisalo for a center, then make Bussy a backup and let him develop into a pretty decent goalie by playing him around for around 25 games for the first few seasons and let him slowly develop. I don't think that's what the Bruins' game plan. The Bruins' game plan was to sign a center in free agency. That was their what they were trying to do. They were trying to sign a player in free agency. Thanks for doing this live stream after the news broke, bud. Solid BNG teammate, my man. Of course, man. We're live on 4 different platforms right now. I'm nervous. Elias Lindholm. That could be a possibility. Here's the thing. If Ullmark actually waved to go to Ottawa, this trade wouldn't have happened if he didn't wave. You see the first being flipped? No. If anything that's out of this trade I could see being flipped, it's Korpisalo. But I don't think they're going to flip him, at least throughout the first year. That's what I think. Lindholm is obviously the target. As Dom, Mark, and I discussed on the podcast last week, if they don't get Lindholm, then I could easily see them going after. We could all easily see them go after a Chandler Stevenson or a, somebody like that. Somebody who can fit either first or second in line if the Bruins really insist on having Coyle as the first center. Could the $2 million in cap savings go to a DeBrusk extension as well? I don't think that's a possibility. That's a possibility. If the Bruins were to use that extra $2 million to go to a DeBrusk extension, that wouldn't be surprising. That wouldn't be too surprising. But I honestly don't think they bring back DeBrusk. I think he's. This is so weird because you have so many different opportunities available. You have the idea of you have Korpisalo and Swayman, which is another 1-2 punch kind of a thing. Although Swayman would obviously get more minutes than Korpisalo next year. Or you could flip Korpisalo for you could flip Korpisalo and get picks back. That's a possibility too. Because it'll be easier to do that with 25% retained. There are 700 people watching me right now on multiple different platforms. I am confused. I'm speechless at this point. A lot of you guys are coming in here and they're not too happy. And honestly, horrible contract coming back. No, well, it's not a horrible contract. It's 25% retained. It's $3 million. I mean, it's not terrible. It's less than Ullmark. I mean, yeah, you take on Kostelic, who's 835. So you save yourselves about what? So Ullmark is 5, 3.835. So you save yourself about $1 million, $1.165. I'm good at math. Sweeney did this trade before Game 7, so we can forget how bad it is. That's funny. 25% retained. Yeah, that's a part of the deal. Ottawa got the best of the deal. Ottawa wanted to trade Korpisalo anyway. My question is, who would the Senators' backup be? Would it be... I'm blanking on the Senators' depth chart. Hold on a minute. Forsberg. That's right. It's Ullmark and Forsberg. I had a brain freeze for a second, ladies and gentlemen. Don't think Ullmark will be as effective behind an Ottawa blue line that considers defense to be optional. Yeah, the Senators' defense. Okay, this is a little insane. I will root for Ullmark when the Sens play the Bruins. That's a little insane. So the Bruins have about $23 million to stay within the salary cap. Yes, approximately. Sweeney needs to cook up a juicy deal for this to not look bad. He has 24 hours to respond. Well, the problem is, I was honestly convinced Jacob Lauko was going to be a part of this deal. I was convinced Lauko was going to be a part of this deal. So whatever happened threw me off. We literally got our own pick back. Because the Bruins sent the 25th pick to Detroit for Bertuzzi 2 seasons ago. Then they traded it. Then the Senators traded to the Red Wings, and they also traded to Brink. It was weird. That was a weird time. This is good for the Bruins. Only for a first rounder, you dump his salary. Couldn't pay him anyway. Problem is, you got a goalie back, so you didn't save yourself a lot of money here. That's the problem, Matt. Oops, sorry. That's the problem. We didn't have Korpisalo's coming back, so I'm okay. Chat's moving a little too fast. Oh god. Great. Another fourth liner joint thrown in, just what we need. I mean, we have some decisions to make now. Okay. Lauko. If this would rule out Boquist getting a contract, I would not expect Boquist back, especially since I thought if Lauko was going to be a part of this deal going to Ottawa with Ullmark, I was convinced that if they traded Lauko and Ullmark, Boquist was going to get a contract. That's what I was convinced of, right? Sweeney will get crushed on the SN board as soon as this goes up. Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, I don't make the rules. I don't make up the. I got nothing, guys. I got nothing right now. This team is entirely fourth liner. Sending Lauko would have made sense because I don't think he has a roster spot, Nick. I don't believe so either. Lauko, how do I say this without getting yelled at? Lauko has speed. He has some skill. He has some intensity. But he wasn't as consistent as Boquist or Beecher was to get himself a roster spot. Hamlet, what's the trade pieces? So Ullmark to the Senators for Mark Kostelic, the 25th overall pick in this year's draft, and Jonas Korpisalo at 25%. A lot of tools, but no toolbox. Yeah. What other goalie needy teams are left in the market who Korpisalo could be flipped to? Well, here's my question. If they were to trade Korpisalo, I would imagine that he would be traded to the Western Conference. Well, wait a minute. Let me think about this. I just need a minute to think. So, Utah, they don't need a goalie. They have Vejmelka. And they have Velada as a backup if that doesn't work out. Dallas has Ottinger. $3 million you need to take on. Colorado, possibly. I could imagine if they're not. Yeah, Colorado possibly, because because they have Georgiev. I could see him going to Winnipeg too, but they have Hellebuck and yeah, I don't know. Ullmark got traded for worse value than Jacob Markstrom. Yeah. Thought Chychrun too. What happened with that? I guess that wasn't a thing. Ullmark didn't want to go further out west. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to be further time zones away from his family. Okay, then that's fair. I see San Jose. No, they would not want to dump him in San Jose. I could honestly see him being traded to the Metro. If they're going to keep him in the Eastern Conference, a team like maybe not Carolina. They have a goalie problem over there. They have what we had, a goalie, a good goalie problem. No, not send it back to Columbus. I don't know. It sucks, man. Toronto needs a goalie. You have to retain some stuff. Ottawa's already retaining 25%. They just signed Joseph Woll. Bruins were more handicapped than most realize. I mean, well, were they? Because they had... Well, actually, yeah, you're probably right. Well, they had $21 million in cap space before this trade, and now add on $1 million. So they have about 22.5-ish. Detroit. Well, they'll have to make a decision on Husso, and they'll have to make a decision on Nedeljkovic and Reimer and all of them. Not Reimer. Is he still there? I don't remember. Husso and Nedeljkovic, that's for sure. No, Nedeljkovic is in Pittsburgh. No, I'm having a brain freeze. The goalies are freaking me out. Husso and Reimer is the goalie tandem in Detroit, correct? Am I right on that, chat? Am I right on that? I believe I'm right on that. Nedeljkovic is in Pittsburgh now. I'm having a brain freeze. I'm having like a brain fart. This trade is making me go nuts right now. Lyon. It's Alex Lyon. That's right. It's Alex Lyon. Well, they could definitely use him a little bit more experience as a backup than Alex Lyon. So again, Ullmark, the Senators for Mark Kastelic, Korpisalo at 25% retain, and the 25th overall pick. That was... Oof. Yikes, guys. Is Cap Friendly still up? Yeah, it's still up. For now. Here, I'll pull that up so you guys can see it. Hello, I got advertisements. Whoa, what? All right, let's pull up the Bruins here. I gotta get an ad blocker. I'm sorry, guys. All right, so Korpisalo, $3 million for the next 4 years until 2027, 2028. Then he'll become a free agent. So the Bruins now, the next move is Swayman, I would believe. If they're going to flip Korpisalo, I would imagine it comes before the draft, or they're going to stick with him in Swayman next year. If they're still trying, if they don't think Bussy's NHL ready, which I'm confused on that. If they don't think Bussy's NHL ready, they'll keep him in the minors. Swayman and Korpisalo would be the goalie tandem. Swayman would get more games than Korpisalo, I think. Kastelic comes in at 835. Ooh, they have a lot of free agents. Good Lord. He's 25 years old. At 835, he's got 1 more year left in his deal. He spent a lot of his time in Belleville. He spent okay, so this is his first time full-time in the majors. First full season, he wasn't sent down once. Belleville, okay, he had 28 points in 64 games for Belleville in 2022. 2021, he had 10 points in 31 games. Eesh. Yikes. Yikes, guys. Yeah, this is a weird one. This is definitely a weird one. Taking a Chikrin and a bag of M&Ms. I don't think they were gonna give up Chikrin. If they didn't give him up here, they were never gonna give him up. Boston could retain some salary and make a trade. I don't think they're in a position to retain any more salary. I don't think they are. Maybe a team will get desperate for a goalie after the draft. I don't know. The Bruins have $23 million in available cap space, gained close to $3 million making this trade happen. I don't hate it. Me neither. However, I just still don't like the idea of taking on a goalie. I don't. At $3 million, I don't like it. Personally, I don't like it. But again, I don't make the rules. We're gonna have to deal with it, right? Would have preferred Quick over Corpusalo. If it's a veteran, if you're a veteran you're looking for, then sure. Yeah. Oh boy. Sorry, I just got back from playing basketball. So for a few hours, I'm a little exhausted. I haven't eaten dinner yet, so don't mind me. Dinner's sitting right there, but I will finish this stream first. This stream's not going to last long. We'll probably be on for another 15, 20 minutes or so. Just something to address this while it's going on. I'm going to turn on the game, actually. Go Oilers, by the way. I'm going to turn on the game and see how that goes. Okay. Corpy's most likely not going to be here long. Mark, do you think they'll flip him at the draft? If they flip him, then I'm fine with it. But if they're going to keep him here, he was statistically one of the. Yeah, I just don't have a. I don't understand. Corpusalo could wind up back in LA. He played well with them last year and priced himself out of staying. They could. Corby's numbers pre-sends. Here, I'll pull that up for you. Pre-Senators, I can pull that up, absolutely. Good question. I'll pull that up. So, I'll pull up Cap Friendly here because this is the best way for me to know. So he also Corpusalo waived his no trade clause to come to Boston. I forgot he has a no trade clause in his contract too. Huh. Interesting. Okay. So he started with Columbus. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm tired. 31 games in 2015, 2016, 2.6 goals against average, 920 save percentage. 14 games in 16, 17, 2.88, 905. He spent a lot of time with Cleveland in the AHL. 2017, 2018, 18 games played, 3.32 and an 897. It's about what we had last year with him. 21-22 with Columbus was his worst statistical year at a 4.15 goals against average and a .877 save percentage. Lordy. Yikes. I mean, with the Kings, though, in 11 games with the Kings, make sure this is muted. Okay. 11 games with the Kings, he had 2.13 goals against average and a .921 save percentage. He did have a not-so-good playoffs with the Kings in there. As the game's on now, 2 minutes in, we are scoreless still. If you're wondering, Edmonton and Florida, Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final happening right now. Of course, the Bruins make this trade right before the game starts. Right on cue, it is a Bruins and it's a Sweeney thing to make trades happen at the most particular times. This is one of them. So that's his stats pre-Senators. He played one game in the AHL with Cleveland. He actually did pretty well. He had two goals against, 950 save percentage. So that's what he had when yeah, sounds inconsistent. Yeah. He did it because he knew the reaction would be bad. That's crazy. That's from my chat, by the way. If you're wondering what that wrench is from, that's my chat. Yeah. Panthers are getting a power play here. Fogle cross-checked him in the face. Oof, yikes. Who do we draft now? Well, the first round. We're going to discuss that on Wednesday for our podcast. We'll discuss that because that is definitely something that's interesting. Waive Corby and put him in the A if you can't move him. No, if you waive him, nobody claims him. You keep him as the backup to Swayman, because that's what you do. If he doesn't pull his weight, then bury him in the minors. But give him a shot. Give him a shot if he doesn't do well. If they're not going to move him, he's the first and Korpisalo being moved up for a higher pick. I could easily see that, but I don't see. First in Okay, well, my chat's moving fast. Can you see a first in Korpisalo? It says Korpisalo, I promise. Being moved up for a higher pick. I could easily see that, but the problem is, would anybody take that on at this point? Is anybody goalie desperate? At least they got their first round draft pick back. Yeah. Man. Shorthanded Nugent Hopkins. Oof. Got shut down. Sorry, I'm watching the game at the same time as I'm talking to 930 people. I forgot. Whoops. I forgot this. I get mesmerized when there's hockey gun. Even if it's not Bruins. So we got a lot of people watching on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. Corpy at 4x3 million. Yes. That's what we're paying him. He gets an extra $1 million from Ottawa each year of his contract. Yep, that's one of my good friends. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Oh, what a hit. 2015 2.0. Well, the thing is about that, I don't think it's that bad. I mean, it's not like I'm sorry. I don't think it's like a team killing trade. I think people are just overreacting a little bit. I'm gonna rationalize this for you. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I don't like the trade more than another person because of the fact that Ullmark's gone. I get it. It sucks. It's gonna suck. It was gonna suck regardless. However, this trade needed to happen. Yes, the return isn't amazing based off what he was worth. I don't personally think. However, we got a first back. That's not the worst thing in the world. Oh, the Panthers score. Carter Verhaeghe. Of course it was. Right on cue. This would just make things worse if Florida wins tonight. I'm going to be honest with you. Why did we trade? Oh, we had no choice, guys. We had no choice. Verhaeghe, can you stop, man? Just stop. I don't know. We didn't have a choice. This is like the second trade of the Thornton trade. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh. My brain hurts. My brain hurts. If this was the Sagan trade, they would have traded Pasternak. Or they would have traded like their best player. Oh, God. Ullmark was obviously a great goalie, obviously. However, same time, It's not like they traded their best goalie. It's not like they traded the RFA rights to Swayman or something. Oh, Bruins fans are overreacting now. Especially people from my chat. They're overreacting because we made one trade. It's like the world's coming. It's like the world's coming down. Comparing it to Sagan or Thornton would be a massive overreaction. Yeah, no, crazy. Not yet. Now, if Korpisalo and Kostelic both are awful next year, yeah, I'm saying they don't optimize the trades. Well, that's fair, but I don't. The comparison is not there. It just stinks. Reminding me of that Marcus Smart trade. Well, that Marcus Smart trade helped the Celtics win a championship. So think about that. Fancy take a deep breath. Yeah, I think they need to just relax. I think you remember there's only 1 year left in Ullmark's contract. It lowers his value significantly. Right, but at the same time, you got to remember what his worth was when he was under contract. He was a Vezina Trophy winner. This is why, oh man, if they were going to move him at the perfect time, it would have been after last year. But I understand why they didn't move him last year. The perfect time to trade him would have been last year, but it wouldn't have. So, Oilers score! Matthias Janmark! Beautiful. Beautiful. No choice. It's 1.2 million. I don't understand the Kostelic part. That one confused me. Korpisalo, I understand. I don't like it, but I understand. It's a nice goal for Janmark. Dang. Now go sign Swayman. Yeah, if the Bruins sign Swayman, I think the Bruins fans will calm down. The minute they sign Swayman, they'll calm down. I'm looking up Swayman now. I'm gonna see. Fourth line fighter and checker. Yeah, I agree. Connor Ryan on Twitter. Okay, he's a reporter for the Bruins. He just tweeted Jeremy Swayman playing against Linus Ullmark in Ottawa. For those who know wrestling, it's when Shawn Michaels kicked Ric Flair in the face and said, "I'm sorry, I love you," as Swayman beat the Oh my god. I think we're keeping the goalie. I think we're going to keep Kostelic. I don't know if we're going to keep Korpisalo. I wouldn't be surprised either way. But they just signed Bussy today. Like, that's what's confusing me. You know what I mean? I don't know. No, Ullmark was the goat. Ullmark was great. They're keen on keeping Swayman around, and I understand why. I understand why they traded Ullmark in the first place. Just the return is mind-boggling, but in my personal opinion, this is not me saying this on behalf of Black and Gold. This is my personal opinion. The Ullmark was a little, the return was a little mind-boggling, but I understand. As long as we got that first-round pick, I don't care. I don't. In the long run, I don't care. The Bruins tweeted out a thank you to Ullmark for all the hugs, the goalie goal. Yeah, he scored a goal. The Vezina and so much more. Thank you, Linus, for everything you've done for the Spoke Bee. Wish you and your family nothing but the best in your next chapter. Boquist, well, he's an RFA. We'll have to see if Boquist resigns. Brazo, yep. Kostelic, yep. Lauko, yep. Beecher, yep. Huh. Bruins have a good team. They have a lot of roster spots to fill out, though. There's a lot of unanswered questions at this point. So we'll be live for another 10 to 15 more minutes. If you want to send in your questions here, this would be the time. If you'd like to send in some questions, make sure to please let me know in the chat. If you have a question about the trade, ask me. Ask right away. Any ideas on Natchez? We're not getting Marty Natchez. We're not getting Marty Natchez. Stop. Do you think it was the right idea to move Ullmark? Yes. Yes. Korpisalo coming back confused me, but I understand. Sway must be sad. Fair. That's a very fair argument. That's his best friend. But I think if he's a businessman, I hope his agent's telling him right now that it's best for business. They're giving Swayman the keys to the kingdom now. That playoff run solidified it for me. You give the keys to the kingdom now. Doesn't this increase Swayman's negotiating leverage now? It absolutely does. Absolutely does. Yep. Just hope we make some good signings. Absolutely. July 1 should be very interesting, guys. I'll be live on my channel for Free Agent Frenzy. We'll be covering it all. So make sure to definitely stay tuned for that. If you haven't subscribed yet, look up Sam Smith Bruins on YouTube, and you can find me. If you want to subscribe to my channel, would appreciate it. We are on the road. Here, I'll put the link in the chat now, so you guys can subscribe if you have not yet. Let me get my link. Here we go. I just put that link out on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not yet. Wonder how many rumors around Vegas, Colorado, and Detroit wanting Ullmark were true. Is that just a leverage play? Well, if it was a leverage play, then I would have been shocked. I wouldn't have been shocked if we got more. Can't wait for Sway to get off or she to be up to be left with Corp. No, that won't happen. That will not happen. Oh, something gets 10 plus million. No, that won't. He won't. He's gonna get 8.5. The Kings wanted Ullmark, and the Bruins didn't want Dubois, so that wasn't gonna happen. We are now the laughing stock of the. No, there are way worse teams that are laughing stock. No. I know the dates aren't accurate, but the date on this isn't accurate. However, I'm gonna edit this. There you go. I know the questions on this aren't accurate. This is just from the podcast last week, but if you have any questions, now's the time. Send in your questions in the chat. I will read them for you. I'll read them out loud. So make sure to keep sending them in. Sam, do you believe the Bruins would do better or worse after the results of this trade? Does it depend on who we get in the draft? Depends on what we do with Korpisalo. Sam seeing as the trade needed to happen. What was your ideal rational? So what was your rational idea of the trade? I was shocked. I didn't think it was going to happen. I didn't think it was going to happen tonight. I thought it was going to happen tomorrow, to be honest with you. At least get a good pick. Well, 2024 first-round pick. If the Bruins fans thought DeBrus didn't hustle, they would hate Dubois immediately, which is why we didn't get Dubois. Laughing stock of the league happened over a year ago when they lost to Florida. Yep. Will we see draft trades from the Bruins? I think we could. At least one. At least one. At least one. We have 60 watching in BNG's chat. We have a lot of people watching on Facebook and X right now. Wow. What a moment here. So again, any more questions you guys have, let me know in the chat. I'll answer them. What you think could happen. Do you feel they ooh, this is a good question. Do you feel they rushed this trade to satisfy Ullmark? I don't think they rushed it. I don't think they rushed it. What I think they did was Ottawa offered this. They let the return out, and then they allowed the rest of the league. You're trying to see if there's anything else out there, and then nothing really came up for them, and they gave him to Ottawa. I think it might have just been they wanted to see what the market was like for Ullmark. So it just doesn't make sense to bring in Corby. Buddy, they now have 5 fourth-line centers and no top 2 centers. You kidding me? Coyle is a fourth-line center. Beecher is a fourth. Well, Beecher technically is. Potter's a fourth-line center. Geeky is a fourth-line center. No, I'm sorry. That's an overreaction. That's an overreaction. Would have been better off with the first and a bag of used pucks. God. So people are not happy with this return. Oh, are you going to miss the hugs? Yes. Yes. I'm also human, so I understand why people are going to be upset. But that is an overreaction. I think, yeah, we'll miss the hugs. I understand. I get it. I get it. That's an overreaction, though. Beecher is. Patra's a work in progress. Gigi's a third at best. Cole's best suit is a third. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I could talk, but I'm not going to. So I'm just going to shut my mouth about that. I'm just not going to acknowledge that. Does this affect Swayman's morale? It could. It definitely could. Man, people are overreacting to this trade. My goodness. Wow. Wow. That's my goodness. Wow. Oh, man. Goal's a third liner. Did he put up? Yeah. Coyle and Zaka last year technically had more points in the regular season than Bergeron and Krejci did 2 years ago. Look it up. It's a real thing. Coyle is not a third line center. Geeky, I can see that. Coyle, no. Absolutely not. He's a top 6 now. Bruins fans overreacting? No, never overreacting to a trade that they needed to make, but the return doesn't really make sense. But that's okay. The Bees can't be done. Hoping Sweeney has something in the work. Oh, I don't think they're done. I don't think they're done. I, honest to God, don't think they're done. Oof. This is crazy. Sens fans here. Thank you for Ullmark, and huge thank you for taking Corpusalo. Man. Ay, man. Ay. Are you glad that Boston gets a first-round pick in this year's draft? Yes. That's a good thing. That's a good thing about this trade. Bruins the go. What do you think they could get if they move Korpisalo? Well, they're probably, if they're going to flip one, it'll be for draft picks. There won't be any players coming back. Maybe a prospect, but I doubt it. Never know. Goalies come here and always get better. Fair. That's completely fair. I mean, Ullmark's a prime example of that. He was kind of okay in Buffalo, came to the Bruins, and actually became a good goalie. Is what it is. So. Is Korpisalo better than Ullmark? No. A 6th and a 7th rounder for Corby. What an amazing return. It'll be better than nothing. If they're going to believe in Bussy. Yeah. Here's what I'll say about this. Whether you hate the trade, whether you like the trade, you have to admit this trade needed to happen. It needed to happen. It needed to happen. Whether you like it or not, the trade needed to happen. It just, I don't. How many goalies would you pick over Corpy? Well, I don't know. I don't know about that. Can two teams retain contract? Yeah, they can. Yeah. Yeah, but I don't think if they flip them, I don't think the Bruins are going to retain any money. They could, but there's no need to. Maybe 12 and a half. Maybe 12 and a half. Maybe 25 if they're lucky. Do you think the Bruins will be sad? Obviously. But how to save any money? Better off using Ullmark and trading him at deadline, if anything. The trade needed to happen. They didn't address any of the needs they said they wanted to when they had the prime opportunity to pick up an impact player. Yeah. Completely agree. Who do we have left for trade that has a value to bring in an impact player? I have no idea. No idea, man. No idea. All right. 5 more minutes and I'm getting off. So any other trades, any other questions you guys have, send them in now. Send in your final questions now. I will answer them. And then we'll wrap things up. What is DeBrusk's contract, and is he trade bait in combination with anybody? No, DeBrusk's a free agent, so he would block. This trade didn't need to happen. What world did it need to happen? You got to leave now? Bye. I'm sorry. You don't like it? I'm sorry, man. Go. Look, I'm not going to hold you back. It needed to happen because they need to save money. Oh my God. Yikes, dude. Yikes. Man. Dude. If this trade was presented to you, I wouldn't have taken it. Because of the Korpisalo part. The Korpisalo part would have thrown me off. You have Kostelic, who will be fine. A first rounder that makes sense. And then Maybe I would have probably taken another draft pick, possibly. I don't know. How much money do they save with this deal? Not much, about $1 million. Because, well, $3 million, and then you add $3 million you're paying to Corpusalo. Well, actually, wait a minute. 5, then you add on 835, 3.835. So if you 5 million, putting it in my calculator, minus 3.835, that's what Kostelik's getting, 835. What? And so it's 5 minus 3.835. 1.165. That's what, unless I'm missing something. Got close to 3 million cap save. Well, okay, fair enough, Mark. 3 million. Okay. Maybe the Bruins will not be as good. I don't know. We'll have to see what we still have a lot of unanswered questions. Number 1 center, gonna need that. Winger, gonna need that. A defenseman, gonna need that. We'll see. This was a necessary trade. I don't care what anybody says. This was a necessary trade. Not the return, but trading Ullmark was necessary for success. I'm not thrilled with the return, but I understand why. Is what it is, man. So we're going to wrap things up here because I am going to enjoy the rest of the night, and I'm also going to eat my dinner. So thanks for joining me on the Black and Gold YouTube channel. There are X, our Facebook. Thank you for also joining me on Twitch and on my YouTube channel. Once again, if you have not subscribed, it's look up Sam Smith Bruins on YouTube, and you can find me there on YouTube. You can go follow me on Instagram and TikTok if you want. Twitter, yes, I would. Instagram and X. Sam Smith on YT on those platforms. You know, I'll leave you with this. Fans, Bruins fans everywhere. It's going to do okay. It's going to be okay. We will get over it. All of you will get over it. I'll get over it. We'll all get over it. Free agency starts next week. Next Monday, a week from today. It's going to be fun. I can't wait. Free Agent Frenzy live on my channel next Monday. It's going to be fun. It should be a great time. We have the draft this weekend. A lot of stuff to look forward to. Now it gives me a reason to watch the Friday night draft, part of the draft, because I get to see who the Bruins pick. We'll see. Wednesday night, we'll be live on this channel for Black Gold Hockey Podcast with Mark Allred and Dominic Tiano. 6:30 start right here on YouTube, Facebook, X, and Twitch. Have a great rest of your night, everybody. Hope you guys enjoy Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final tonight. Don't let this trade really get to your head. Watch the Oilers-Panthers game. Cheer on the Oilers. All right? I think they've become Boston's team temporarily for the remainder of the night. And, oh my God, Kachuk barely missed that. Have a fantastic rest of your night, y'all. It's been real. I will see you guys very soon. Mark, Dom, and I will be live Wednesday. We'll see you guys soon. Have a good night. Go Oilers, by the way, guys.